What is up, everybody? It is I, Ronin, doing a deck profile today for, I think, actually what has turned out to be my best deck yet. It is a Windwitch Majespecter build, and there's actually a bit of a story behind this deck. So, when I was thinking about what I could do for videos, I saw that some of my deck profiles had started getting some more views, so I thought it could be cool to do a deck profile with some of the replays and stuff. Might be nice. And I was trying to think of what I could do, something a bit more relevant, and Majespecters came to mind because a lot of people said they are a bad deck, and I couldn't figure out why, as they have the same protection as Chaos Max. Sorry, they have all the search power in the world, not to mention their natural synergy of being spellcasters, so they have access to the spellbook engine, as you can see it is present. So I built a pure version of the deck, and I learned something valuable about the game, actually. It does not matter what you search if what you're searching isn't going to help you win against anything other than very, very weak decks. So, yeah. Basically, I learned that pure Majespecters do not have a win con. Their boss monster might have helped, but yeah, that guy's banned, so it's a no-go on that front. So I was thinking about it, and I realized that Wind Witches actually synergize perfectly, because if you didn't know, the Majespecter spells and traps, except for Majespecter Supercell, all specify that you must tribute a wind spellcaster type monster. And, in case you also didn't know, and you are just extraordinarily new to the game or don't care to read some of these cards, all the Wind Witches are wind spellcasters. So I put in a Wind Witch engine, the basic one, running free as all the main deck monsters, as well as Crystal Wing and the Synchro monster. And the deck turned out to be monstrous. So, yeah, just a quick explanation of how it works is your goal is to make Crystal Wing right here. This guy, he is very big, very bad because you're using Snowbell. It can't be destroyed by card effects. And then, since ideally you have yet to use a normal summon, you summon QB or Ogama. That way you get one of your trap cards set. In this case, we are running Majespecter Tornado for the sake of banishment, or Majespecter Tempest because by tributing a wind spellcaster, it's basically a solemn strike without paying life points, which is always nice. And just in case you do not have the QB or the Toad, you can always have, I'm using, sorry, Bunbuku and Nekomata because they both will search out either of those as well as the traps in our deck. As far as our spell lineup, we are running the Spellbook engine as well as MSTs, which I will go over why I'm doing that later, as well as a one of Raigeki. It is the only one of card in our deck, so for the sake of max consistency. And the Spellbook Magician of Prophecy is also a good benefit for the Spellbook engine, and synergizes quite nicely with Wind Witches if you normal summon it to search secrets or the Spellbook of Knowledge, because you'll have no monsters on your field and will be allowed to special summon Ice Bell in that condition. Let's see. Sorry. Now, as for the extra deck, it is pretty basic. Your main boss monster is going to be Crystal Wing. He is your win condition. You have you have Winter Bell to help further get to that. You have Electromite because it's a more draw advantage because you do have access to it, this being a somewhat pendulum deck. You have Great Fly because you're running mostly wind monsters. It is just nice for a attack boost. And Link Karibo because while you might never go into it, you do have access to it with Snowbell. In the side deck, we are running the two you want to focus on in the side deck are Droll and Lockbird for those more meta matchups, and Majespecter Storm because it's a good way to actually quickly out some big co-linked extra linked boards, because the main cards you would worry about in those situations are Nightmares, Phoenix, and Cerberus. They are the ones that provide effect and battle destruction, but they are not immune to being spun, which is a very easy thing to do with Majespecter Storm. Alternatively, you also have the Polymerization, a way to search it, and the windwitch fusion monster, which is kind of like a Supreme King, Emperor, Dragon, Poison thing. I don't remember the exact name. The one that does the FTK with Independent Nightingale. It's like that one, pretty much. So, and as a last note, this, as far as what you can replace goes anyways, a more competitive build would definitely have the Droll and Lock in place of the MST, but since most of the time I am playing on YGO Pro, and that is like a giant locals tournament all in one, we are running MST. It's just more appreciated in this format. On actual paper, though, taken to a competitive event, Droll and Lockbird or Called by the Grave would definitely be a better choice. Now, I had a lot of fun playing this deck. It turned out to be a fairly competent stun build, and yeah, that's really all I have to say about that. Let me know any ways you think this deck could be better, and enjoy the replay.